Hey, welcome back. Now it's time to put some clothes on this little character, and this is actually quite an easy process, so let's go through this. We're going to put a simple t-shirt on. You can see from the design here that we had a t-shirt and some trousers, and we're going to model some shoes, and I'm going to show you something, a little technique we can do to maybe create some laces, or you can just do straps if you want. It's completely up to you, so let's have a little look. So let's press the F key, zoom in on his body here, and hit the 1 key to go back to a unsmoothed mesh. Now I just want to quickly touch up some of this mesh here. It's a little bit hunchback up here, so I'm going to move some of this in just to get us ready for these clothes. Like I say, we were always going to come back and tweak the mesh anyway, so let me just move this in. And this is an ongoing process. You'll sort of always be tweaking this anyway, like we said before. So let's move this in as well. I'm just going to turn symmetry back on. That wasn't on there. Move this in just to round him off a bit more. And every character is different as well, so it depends on your shape. See what you have to do. Okay, great. So now we're going to let's start off with creating a little t-shirt. So let's go into the front view, hit the space bar, into a front view. What we want to do is select some polygons that, instead, there's no point modeling a brand new mesh around when we've already got the body to use. So let's select our polygons here. So I'm going to select a good group there. Let's see, I don't want those neck ones. That looks good. Let's have a little look at here what we've selected. Yep, that looks good. So from here, now we're going to go up to mesh tools, edit mesh, and we're going to go down faces and duplicate faces. Now we've done this before, so we've duplicated the faces off. Let me just mute this a minute for you. We've duplicated this off, so now we're going to just hit a little bit of local translate. Let's go like 0.1, and you can see what it does is it pops the mesh out off the body and gives it some distance. I'll just go back to object mode. You can see that. And it really is as easy as that, really. So we're going to obviously add some more detail and a bit of shape to our t-shirt. So let's just come in and let's see. I want to move this down. We might want to give it a little bit of a rim. So I'm going to come under the neck here. I'm going to pull this back. Let's just smooth this off, see what we've got here. Okay, not bad. And now let's start giving this a little bit of thickness. We don't have to do this bottom bit. You can if you want, add some trimming or whatever. And you're probably going to need, if you want to animate, we're going to need some more topology as well. So let's select the edge loops on this side. So double click to select the whole edge loop. We're working in symmetry again. And then we're just going to hold down the shift key, right click, and go extrude edge. And it's taking me to this side, so we'll do this side. And I'm just going to extrude in a bit just to give a bit of thickness. And then I'm going to hit G to use the last command and repeat. And I'm going to extrude it in. I'll go into a wireframe mode. You can see what I'm doing here. So I've given it some thickness. And let's just give this, so obviously it looks like a skin color at the moment, so let's open up the hypershade like we've done before. And we will clear the selection here and just create a new Maya blend. And let's just call this t-shirt material. And what we've got in the design, we've got a little light blue, so but you can change this to whatever you want. Something like that will do. I'm going to right click on the t-shirt and I'm going to assign, just to give it some colour. There we go. It's pretty easy to create the clothes, as you can see, and we've got a bit of thickness, so let's just see what it looks like in smooth. And as you can see, it's pinched a bit because we need some more edge loops here. So if I go back to unsmoothed view by hitting the 1 key, go back to our poly modeling tool set, I'm going to add an edge loop right on the edge here, and I'm also going to do it on the inside, so it's going to be here. So as you can see, I'm just going to wireframe so you can see the loops I've put in, and now when I hit the 3 key, you can see it's not so pinched. We've given it that extra. There's the edge loop that we've given it. Okay, looks pretty good. And let's do something with the neckline. So let's see, what can we do here? We could, I mean, you know, you could have a play with this. You might want to sort of cut in an extra edge loop, or you know, have a trim. I think for me, I'm going to, let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to double click, and I'm going to let's see, I'm going to extend this out a bit, and I'm going to extrude edge, and I want to hit the W key, and I'm going to move it in. Okay, so let's see, I'm just sort of going on the fly here, see what sort of design we want really. So let's just move this in, obviously move these verts back in. Let's see, so we could go for sort of like a nice little collar here. That might look quite good, so we could move this up. Maybe we, let's go to faces mode, and let's select the whole edge loop, and let's maybe do an extrude, see what this looks like. So sometimes when I'm, you know, I do model on the fly just to test what things look like. It's we're just sort of progressing from the design really. Let's hit the 3 key. Yeah, that's good. Let me just, so we've got like a little collar there, but I'm going to give it a little bit more detail so we can see it in that cut. Let me go back to this view, and let's add another edge loop in the middle. I'm going to go to let's see. Yep, not bad. And then we want to obviously, we don't want to see the inside there like that again. So just like we did for the edges of the arms, I'm just going to double click the edge loop, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and extrude edge, and I'm going to move that down into there. I'm going to hit the R key, and I'm going to scale everything in. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the W key and just move it down. That looks alright. Make sure it goes into the skin a bit. Let's have a little look at that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We've got a nice little collar. Again, you could add trims to the edge of the t-shirt. They don't have to be straight. You could do what I did here on the end here. But yeah, it really is pretty much as easy as that. That's it for the t-shirt. So let's do another save as. We know how important that is. Scene save as. Let's go to another version 6. Awesome. Right, now let's give this a name so we know what it is. T-shirt. And I'm going to delete the history on this. Edit, delete by type, history, and there we go. We got our first t-shirt. So let's put this on its own layer. Create layer from selected. T-shirt. And again, with the naming system, can't have anything named same name twice. There we go. So I'm just going to reference that in a minute because I want the trousers to come up inside. So I just want to be able to see what I'm doing here. So let's go back to unshaded view. So I'm going to add, we do need more edge loops in here anyway. So I'm going to add those now. One here and one here. And we'll do the same on the t-shirt afterwards. But I'm doing this because I want the trousers to come up inside. So let's go to a front view. And let's select... oh, sorry, we want to be in faces, not vertices. So faces, and let's select enough for our trousers. So do we want the trousers to come all the way down to there under the shoes? Yeah, we do, because obviously we don't want his ankles poking out. So, and we can always adjust that as well. So let's do exactly the same as we did before. Just make sure we get everything selected. Go up to Edit Mesh, Duplicate Faces, and then we're going to just give a little bit 0.1 local translate on the Z-axis. Okay, there we go. That's good. And just so we can see what we're doing, let's again just give it a color straight away. So you can either duplicate this or just create a brand new one. Let's call this trousers material, or pants as they would call it if you're watching from America or anywhere else. So let's give that a dark color, because these might be sort of denim jeans possibly later, you know, we'll work on that later. Let's just give it a dark blue color, something like that. And then I'm going to, oops, so I've accidentally dragged the hypershade into the window, which you can do. You can drag these windows around however you want. I'm just going to drag it off screen, and I'm going to just add our new material. So trousers, add material selection. There we go. Now I'm going to unreference the t-shirt so we can see what we're doing, because we want the t-shirt to come outside of that now. So there we go. So we've got the trousers on. So let's go into a side view, and now let's get this. We could actually use the history here as well. The history was the poly separate, the last one, and you notice that we've done the z-axis. We can go back in the history somewhere. Where is it? Poly separate. There it is. Local translate. We've got 0.1, so we could do 0.05 and bring it in a little bit. Just wanted to show you that, just in case, you know. But it is good to get it off the skin. But I just wanted to show you you've got the options to change while the history is on. So let's now let's reshape the trousers to go in under. So we want to select these edge loops here, scale them in. And then we're going to bring our t-shirt, which is unreferenced at the moment. So let's give our t-shirt some more width, some more girth. And that's on smooth at the moment as well. So let's just now select these three, press the 3 key for smooth. There we go, it's looking better. Yeah, not bad. And you don't really need to give the trousers thickness, because you're not really going to see them. They're going to be close to our shoes. I mean, if you've got shorts on, again, with the shorts, that would have been really easy. We would have just, you know, you could literally just duplicate the trousers, delete these, and there you go. You've got some shorts. Completely up to you. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit Control S to save. There we go, t-shirts and trousers. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna do another save, and let's move on to the shoes now. Obviously a little bit more complicated, but you know, still pretty simple as we go. So let's go straight in and create a polycube. Hit the F key, zoom right in on it, and let's get it into position. Let's work on, you know, we're going to work on one side and then flip it over. So I'm going to put it to this side. And let's scale it down. Scale it out. And depending on the style of shoe that you're going for, let's see. So we've accidentally named this R. Let's call it shoe. Right. So let's give it some subdivision depths. Something like that for now. Give it some height ones and some width, and let's just start reshaping this just like we did before. And as you can see, I've still got symmetry on, so it's still working there. I'm just moving things around just like we've done, just like I've shown you before, just to create some shape. I'm going to put the trousers on its own layer. And I'm just going to hide them for now. Actually, we don't need them at the moment. So let's see. So let's go into a side view so that we can get the shoe on the ground plane. At the moment we've got quite a bit of distance to the ground actually. So about there. We might have to move our whole character down a little bit, but I did want, the reason I did this because we want these thick soles, so the foot would obviously be on top of those soles, but again, everything's subject to change. I'm just moving this around, go into wireframe. If you want, you can give your shoes the modelling, special modelling material that we made, but it's quite simple, so I'm probably not going to bother for now. Okay, so that's the basic shape of a shoe. Let's sort of cut in a little sole, like in the design. The bottom's white because at the moment, if I hit the 3 key, that will go really, really sort of bubbly. So now let's cut in an extra edge loop. So let's do one at the, really far at the bottom, so that we can get a nice fine cut. There you go. You get a nice hard edge on that now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in another one here, and then I'm going to cut one really in the middle. And what that one is going to do is give us the line to define the bottom of our sole. So edge, double click, and I'm just going to hit the 3 key to go into smooth, and then I'm just going to scale that in. There you go. It gives us sort of like a bit of a sole. Right. Let's now we don't need the hole in the top, so let's just reference out the body a minute, and I'm going to give myself another edge loop in the back here, because what I want to do is I want to remove these faces. Oh, you can see I accidentally selected some ones at the bottom there, so make sure you don't do that. Delete. And let's shape this around the foot. Let's turn the body back on just so we can see it. Looking good. Just going to move this out. There we go. All right, not too bad. Let's soften the normals. Let's display soften edge, just so it looks a bit smooth, even though we haven't used the smooth key. There we go. I'm going to save again. So that's sort of the basics of a shoe. And let's see what we want to do now. So the design I did was really basic in the drawing. We need to give it a little bit more detail. So I kind of like straps going across, but I might show you how to do a little way to do laces as well. Let's get a bit of a tongue in there and a bit of interesting shape. So I'm doing this completely on the fly. So let's try something here. Face, I'm going to extrude down. And that's good. And I'm going to delete the face against the ankle there. So you get like this little dip. And then I'm going to, what you can either do is you can either add an edge loop like this, or you can select this and hit bevel. They both work the same way, so I'll just show you the other way. Go to edges, select this edge loop, got it all the way around, and then just go bevel edge, change it to maybe 0.1, and you get like an actual bevel. But because we're going to be using smooth, you get the sort of same effect anyway. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to add another edge loop here because I want it a little bit tighter. There you go. You see what I did there? When you add the new edge loops in, you get like, say if I did it right here, you would get a really sharp line here. And the further away you do it, you know, it's not so creased. I'll just put one there. That's pretty good. Quite sort of cartoony shoe. It's a bit flat along the top and pasty looking, isn't it? So let's bring some of this down in the middle, give it, you know, give it some more. And we need to get it to go around the foot a bit better. That looks good. I'm just going to hide the body a minute because I need to add some thickness in here, because if we animate, you know, you might see the top of the shoe. So let's go back to a unsmooth view, edge. I'm going to turn off soft selection. So we've got all this in there now, and now I want to extrude edges and put this just down into the foot, because you're not going to see this. So we've got a bit of unfolding here, so let's just move this out. There we go, and I'm also going to add another edge loop along the top here, because at the moment it's really sort of rounded. So let's just give it another little edge loop across the top. There you go, just a little bit sharper now. Okay, that's starting to look a bit more like a shoe. It's a bit squared at the back here, isn't it? So let's move that. And round this off. Good. Let's put the body back on. There we go. Starting to look like a nice little shoe. Let's add a bit of a tongue in, shall we? So we're going to do this we could have done this as part of the shoe, but we're going to do it as separate geometry. So let's just create another cube, good old cube, put it into place. So for this, let's see, again, totally up to you what you want to design. I'm going to go for something give it some subdivisions. So let's say just that. Give it one in the height, got a few in the depth. Just have a look at, oh, that's way too deep, isn't it? That's better. Right, again, let's just reference the body so we can just get a bit of shape, and let's just reshape this. You could use a bender former here as well, like I showed you earlier on, to get this nice bend up. It's quite simple. I'm just going to select all these vertices here, turn on soft selection, hit the rotate key. I'm going to hit the insert key to move the pivot point. Hit the insert key again and just move up, and I'm going to select these ones and do the same. See what I did there? So it's sort of blending a little curve up with the soft selection by moving the pivot point. There we go, looks like quite a cute little shoe. Let's turn the body back on. So the tongue needs to come in. And it looks like we're going to need to just mould the shape of this round the foot a bit more. I'm going to turn off symmetry for now, because I want this side of the tongue to come up a bit. You know, it's good to have not everything so symmetrical, just to give it a bit more like authenticity, really. That's good. Now let's give it some, oops, sorry, some sort of height in the middle really. I'm just going to really lower my soft selection. I'm going to do this and this to give it some, what I'm doing is giving it some curvature this way as well. There you go. So let's just call this shoe tongue. Save again. Let's turn the trousers on, see how it's working with that. Perfect. That looks good. So what you could do here, I mean, take your design as far as you want. You might want to add a toe in, a different color toe. Maybe we add some straps across, or you know, some laces. So I mean, I normally like to do like little straps, but I mean, let me just show you something here that you can explore to do with the laces. I'm going to go into a top view, and I'm going to go up to the curves menu now. You can either go click the curves menu here and get the Bezier curve tool from here, or you can go create and then curve tools, Bezier curve tool. And what this does, I don't know if you've used Adobe Illustrator or even Photoshop, it's where you can just draw a path with a Bezier tool. So what's going to happen is if I click and drag, click and drag, and click and drag, you can create curves in the direction that you want to go. And you hit enter, and you've made your curve. So we can use this as a base, as a shape, to create like a sort of lace. So let me just delete that, and let's hit the Y key to open that again. Let's draw a decent shape now. So let's just click and drag. Let's see, we want to maybe fold over this way, and then go, let's see, around and down, something like this. Hit the enter key. It's not going to be perfect, you can always edit it later as well. So now I'm going to go back to my perspective view into here, and I'm going to, there's our curve there. I'm going to go modify center pivots, that we've got it there. What we want to do now is we just want to reshape this a little bit. I'm going to right click and go control vertices, and you want to select them. Now if you notice, look at this, when I move the Bezier node, the point, it's not keeping these points with it. It should stay with it, so you can reshape it just like you would in any drawing package. And this is because symmetry is on. So if we just turn off, let me just go back here and hold down the W key, symmetry, and just turn this off. Now when we select, right click, control vertex, now we can select both. Oh, hang on a minute, it's still got symmetry on. Let me just check. Symmetry, let's see, just check our move tool and reset that, and I think we also have soft selection on. No, let's turn that off. Symmetry, there we go. So it looks like you have symmetry twice, where you can select in the open space and on here. Anyway, just make sure symmetry is off. You can still use it with it on, but now what I can do is I can select the whole curve, and I can bend and reshape this. It's just really good for, I use it for drawing all sorts, like logos and all sorts, and then extruding along it. So let's just reshape this a little bit into more of a just so they're not all flat. And again, we're going to change this as we go. And the lace would come down and hang down either side of the foot. Okay, that's good enough for now. Right. So you'd have to have a play with this, but I'm going to show you something now. Let's move this up in here so we can see what we're doing. Now, what you want to do here is you want to extrude a shape along it. Now, the old way is actually extrude a shape along a curve, but Maya for ages had a new tool in it. It's in the bonus tools. Now the bonus tools is up in here, the bonus menu. If you haven't got it, you will need to install it, and it is completely free. Just log into your Autodesk account, and I will show you this here. So you go to this. You just type in Maya bonus tools. You'll get straight to it. Go to the Autodesk App Store. Choose whether you want. Obviously, I'm on Windows, so make sure you click which one you want. Download, quit Maya, install, and it just automatically appears. And it gives you loads of extra really cool tools. And we will be using the UV editing tools in the next video to do the UV editing for the texturing as well. So this has got a really good tool in it. If we just click on here, go bonus tools, modeling, and we're going to go curve to tube mesh. And what you see is it automatically creates this tube. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. It's because it's massive. So let's go over to width, over to here, go into your channel box, and let's just maybe take this right down to sort of like 0.1. And it's still a mess, and it's because it's got no subdivisions. So let's start adding some divisions, and what you'll notice, it starts to conform to the shape. There you go. You see? So it starts to look more like a lace, really. Let's see. So that looks quite good. It's still quite thick. Let's try maybe 0.8 to take that. Oops. 0.08 was what I meant to type in. And there you go. So the beauty about this is that the curve is still live. If I go to a shaded view, select the curve, show the control vertices. Now watch this. If I can actually still reshape the curve and the mesh follows. It's so good. It's so quick and simple. And then when you're happy, you can sort of delete the history and you're just left with the geometry. So let's move this into place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to instead of like moving the geometry around because it leaves the curves behind, I'm going to move the curve and it sticks to it. So let's move this into place. Let's move this over the shoe. Obviously it's very big, so let's, it scales, it does everything you want to do. So let's scale this right down. Move this into place. It's still quite big. Just want a small little lace. I'm going to rotate it up. There we go. So now let's edit this curve a little bit more now. So control vertices. Sometimes you have to, you might want to turn off selection of polygons up here so that you can't accidentally select it. So if I hit that now, I can only select the curve, which is really helpful. So now let's just reshape some of this. Let's just get a bit more of a better shape for laces. You want to make sure one is going over the other, otherwise it won't look very realistic at all. So I'm just swapping him in and out of shaded mode. Maybe let's get this one hanging over the shoe, this side maybe, get creative with it. There we go. Now you see this is the very first point that we created. Now watch, when I move it around, it moves everything out of place. And there is a little setting in the tube mesh setting. So I need to turn on polygon mesh, select it again. Now let's see if we can find it down here. So we have got, let's see, there is a way. Okay, I think this is it here. It's not very user friendly, but if we go component, at the moment we're on center of the bounding box, the profile. I think it might be this one. Let's have a little look. So let's go back to just turn off polygons again. So I'm accidentally selecting the polygon mesh here, which is what I don't want. There we go. Now let's just try this, and there you go. You see, I just found that by trial and error. So a lot of my nodes do have so many different settings. Sometimes you do have to get in and just play with them, and that was just one of them. So let's maybe set this out something like this. Or, you know, you might want it going in there. I mean, that looks pretty good for now. You could tweak this till the cows come home. So, also, what you notice is that the ends aren't filled. I'm just going to show you to quickly fill those now. I'm going to hit the poly selection button up here again so I can actually select polys again. And it's still got all this history on it, so we can still add, you know, you might think, oh, it's not smooth enough, we do this, or not enough even, you know, width divisions, we can go add more divisions this way. But we are going to be hitting the 3 key to smooth it, so we don't really need that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click the edge, and then we're going to go up to Mesh, Fill Hole. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. This, Mesh, and Fill Hole. And then we will need another edge loop on the edge. You can see it sort of go, you know, to give it more of a crease on the edge. So we're going to go to our modeling tool set and our multi-cut tool and just give us a cut on the end. And there we go. And the beauty is that we've still got the history on the curve. We can still edit the curve. And when you want, you can all, if you know, if you want to get rid of the curve, you just select it and then duplicate or just clear history. So we've got a bit of a rough lace there, which looks pretty good. Let's just add something that makes it look like it's a bit more tied around the middle. So to do that, you can just sort of cheat it really with a couple rings, really ring shape. I'll just show you how to do that. So let's just scale this right down. Let's just bring this up into here. And let's just now bring the radius down, the section radius, zoom in. There we go. And we just need to sort of cheat this a little bit. So let's say something like this, and we want to stretch it this way, get down, and then this might sort of get hidden into the tongue of the shoe. And I'm going to duplicate this one. And it just sort of makes it look like, you know, you've got this sort of tied loop a bit. I'm going to scale this out a bit this way. Then you can always cut these polygons off if you want. You know, if you want to really perfect that, or you can say, I'm going to take these vertices, turn on soft selection, and sort of move them up or bury them into the, you know, do whatever you need to do to sort of, you know, get it looking like. Let me just undo that a minute, sorry. And then maybe give it a little bit of, you know, abnormal shape, so it's not sort of. There you go. That's how to make it. I mean, you're only ever going to be sort of this close, I imagine. So there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to you can group this if you want. Let's group this at the moment. What I want to do is I want to keep the curve history on this so that we can come back and edit it quite easily. And then when you are ready, you can just delete the curves, and then we can be left just with the lace. So that looks really nice, that little shoe there. So let's give it a quick texture. And then we'll duplicate the whole thing and flip it over the other side, pretty easy. So let's start with this one first. I am going to open up the Hypershade again. Let's just see here, Hypershade is on my other monitor, so I'm just going to move it over for you. Sorry, it's a bit of quite a bit of screen space when we're only using one monitor. So let's create another Maya Blim. Let's call this shoe main material. I can't remember what color we gave it in the reference, but for now let's just give it sort of red. And then I'm going to create another one. It's going to be the sole. So I'm going to show you how you can add two materials to one piece of geometry. Blin, shoe sole material, and that's going to be a bit whiter. So now what I want to do is, I'm just going to move this off my screen a minute so we can really see what we're doing. I'm going to go into a side view so we can see the shoe. And let's first of all give it that new texture. So I've just hide the body a minute. So we've given it all the red, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the faces on the bottom, and as you can see I've selected, you know, just up to the inside ridge. And now what you can do is you can apply a color and it will go over it, and it will be applied just to those faces. There you go. So I've just in my hypershade done exactly the same. Right click, assign to viewport selection, exactly the same as I've done before. And as you can see, it's given it two colors on one material. Now sometimes it's not always good to do this. You know, sometimes it might be better to actually create a proper texture. But I wanted to show you how to do that. And the tongue, I'm going to give it the same shoe base color. And then for the laces, let's give it some. I mean, it might look good as white, or let's give it some dark ones perhaps. So let's go new blin. So I'm trying to fit all this on the screen for you at the same time. And let's give it some sort of quite dark. Let's call this laces material. And let's assign that to each piece of this. Laces assign. And I'm going to close my hypershade. I'm going to hit the 3 key, and there we go. We've got sort of like a basic cartoony shoe. And it looks pretty good. And I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to group it. It's going to be called shoe. Now when I grouped it, it automatically puts the pivot point of this shoe to the center. So now what you can do is I can hit Control D to duplicate, and then go up to my scale and press -1 on the X to duplicate it to the other side. Now let's turn our body back on. There we go. So it's been a bit of a long video. Sorry about that. The shoe, obviously, but hopefully you've learned some new techniques in there. We've got the the t-shirt and the jeans. We're pretty easy. We can draw a pocket in. We can model the pocket in. I'll leave it up to you. But there you go, and we've covered some sort of new techniques. I'm trying to put a new technique in every sort of video, and we've got these sort of little cute shoes. You might want to make them longer, you might want to put a tongue in, you might a bigger tongue, sorry, whatever you want, but hopefully that's given you a really good idea how you can quickly create shoes. Now in the next video we are now going to finally start adding some materials. Obviously his eyes are blank at the moment. It's, you know, his skin is just a temporary skin. We want to put freckles and everything on, so we're going to try and paint that. We'll probably use Photoshop, so you don't have to use other specific painting programs. And the next video we're going to create UVs. So UVs are the layout that you'll need to open up to sort of unfold it, that you can paint on top. I hope you've got value out of this video. If you've liked this series so far, it's been a long one, a good one hopefully. If you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when new videos come out, you will be notified. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.